My name is Micah Hauben. I'm the Dean of Athletics here at King. As I've been talking while people have been logging in, we're extremely excited tonight to have you with us. I think for myself in this role, overseeing athletics, I no longer have the chance to coach. And as I think about seeing you all tonight and having this opportunity to be with you and talk about the program next year, it's just extremely exciting for us to have this chance to engage and connect and really look forward to this chance for us to move past this year and into a more typical high school experience. And we've realized that over this past year plus in time that we have not been able to engage and connect in the same ways that we've been able to in the past, even just seeing people on the sidelines or at games or being able to connect at school in the parking lot. And so for us, again, we really wanted to make sure that we took time this evening to talk more about our programs, let people know what's coming at the high school level program. We have a tremendous set of people in place, outstanding coaches, and really, really tremendous opportunities for athletes to thrive and excel and have rewarding, engaging experiences as they come through our athletic program. So I'm going to talk just for a couple minutes about the program tonight. I'm going to give a brief overview of King Upper School Athletics. We have several members of our athletic department on the call as well, who will be talking about their areas of our program. We have Tom Decker, who is our athletics operations director, Emily Prince, who is an associate college counselor, as well as our director of student athlete leadership and experience. Nate Jean-Baptiste is our boys basketball coach and also our coordinator for diversity, equity, and inclusion for athletics. Emma Jonsson is our athletic trainer, and she will be talking about our athletic training program as well as athlete health services. And then Bonnie Roberts is our lead strength coach and also an associate head coach of the girls soccer program. So those 5 members of our department will be speaking this evening, again, about their areas of King Athletics. And what we will do at right about 7:45 is we will have all of our fall coaches introduce themselves to this overall group. And then we will have breakout rooms. So each of our fall sports will have a breakout room. There'll be a cross country room, a crew room, field hockey, football, boys soccer, and girls volleyball. Emma Jonsson, our athletic trainer, will have an athletic training and health services breakout room. And then Nate Jean-Baptiste will have an inclusive athletics DEI room as well. So you'll have a chance to move freely through those rooms once you open up the breakouts. And again, that'll come up about 7:45. Myself and Tom Decker and Guy Savage, who's our admissions liaison for athletics, who many of our new families have had a chance to get to know in the admissions process, will remain in this main room for any other questions. So while we will be doing a lot of speaking to the group at this point for the next half hour or so, please make sure you have your questions ready for the coaches. We're going to have captains on the breakout rooms. And then again, myself, Mr. Decker, and Mr. Savage will be in the main room for questions. So as we think about coming into the high school, we realize that there's been a real missed opportunity over the last year plus for our students, again, to be able to connect and engage in the ways that we would want to be able to provide for them. And for myself as a parent of an 8th grader, those of you that know Sydney in 8th grade who'll be coming from 9th grade, we want to make sure that we are providing the information and opportunity to hear about what's coming. Our high school program is more diverse in scope and opportunity, in challenge than what our middle school program might look like, what our lower school program is. And we feel it's really important for those of you on the call tonight, and we're again thrilled to have so many of you with us, to understand more about what we offer and what we try to provide for our student athletes and our families. So at the high school level, just a little bit of logistics. We do require 1 season of participation. So as you will see and hear from our coaches, we have some phenomenal programs and teams. We compete at a very high independent prep school level across New England, even down into New York and New Jersey in some cases. And depending on the sport that you're coming in with or the background you have in an athletic program, every one of our upper school students has a place in our athletics program. So while we have those really high level competitive teams and we have students that are going on to great college and sometimes pro careers, we also have a real commitment to the experience of every one of our students as they come through our athletic program. And we are going to be there to support them, challenge them, help them grow and develop, and really look at them becoming not only better athletes, but better people, more well-rounded, more able to deal with situations that come up, and with a lifelong appreciation for a healthy and kind of active lifestyle. So again, for us, we're going to cover the full gamut of what we can provide for our students. And we feel that in the model we have with our opportunities and offerings, that is something that each student can get as they come through. And as we think about the actual programs and the schedules, that's what Mr. Decker is going to talk about in a couple minutes. As we think about some of the other areas of our program, Coach Prince is going to talk about our Captain's Council and our leadership model. We do a lot of growth and development programming, not only for our athletes, but for our coaches and our parents. And we really want to get everyone on the same page about what it means to commit to a program, what it means to put in that effort day in and day out, have the support of your teammates and your coaches and the community coming behind you to really understand what it means to be proud to represent the Vikings and put the jerseys on and be out there. We also work hand in hand with our community outreach, the King Cares program. So we have some phenomenal opportunities that work with really tremendous organizations. We have a really strong partner with local groups like the Boys and Girls Club. We work with an organization called the Orphan Starfish. And we actually have some of our fall athletes travel to Colombia to work with orphans there. Right before COVID hit, we were in the Dominican Republic scouting a training trip for baseball and softball. Coach Nate and I took a group of basketball players to China a few years ago. So there's really some outstanding opportunities for us to not only concentrate on that idea of competitive athletic programs and healthy lifestyles, but to understand what sports can do to bridge gaps, to help communities, to build relationships, and what that can mean at a much bigger level. So we really hope that you'll take some time on our website. The links we put through on the email that I sent out had more information about our programs. And again, it's just a tremendous honor, and we're just extremely excited to have all of you on the call and all the families and students. We are really, really looking forward to being able to get back to a more traditional fall season, a winter season and spring season next year, to give you those opportunities that you deserve and to see what our teams and our athletes can do. So without talking further just about the general overview stuff, I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Decker. And again, he is going to talk more specifics, logistics, schedules, to give you some context. And please remember that breakout rooms, you'll have every chance to ask our coaches and students exactly what you might want to know about those teams. Mr. Decker.
Thanks, Micah. Welcome, everybody. I'm Tom Decker, and kind of where I'm a dual role here. This is my 22nd year at King, and I'm also a parent of a lifer who graduated last year and another soon-to-be lifer who's a sophomore now, and two athletes. And I do think this is a great opportunity to hear about what we do in the upper school, because for a year plus, we've kind of lost athletics in our life, and being a parent of two athletes, I know how that affects people from the ears up. So I'm happy to answer questions later on. As Mike indicated, I'll be in the breakout room, but just to talk about our athletic programs, it's a much different place in the upper school than it is in the middle school. In our upper school, we currently offer 20 sports, and we have over 38 teams. As Mike alluded in the sheet that he handed out, you can review that, and it'll tell you all the different sports we offer by season. You're going to meet with our fall upper school coaches right now. So the one thing that I would say that our requirement in the upper school is really, it's a one sport requirement, but I would say probably 2/3 of our upper school students play at least two sports. I would encourage all incoming students, whether you're a rising 8 coming into 9, or you're somebody new from the outside, to get involved in that fall sport. I'm looking at Brandon Lewis, who was new to us last year in the upper school as a junior. When you come to the upper school, especially we come back 2 weeks early for preseason. We'll get all that information out. It's a great chance to meet people, get to know not only your teammates, but other people that are playing a fall sport. Then Then I think the first day of class, when you get into that math class or science class, you look to your left or right and you're nervous, but you recognize a friendly face from either your preseason team or another team. So I would highly encourage you to get involved in that. And we'll talk a little bit more about that as well. We do offer a very, very competitive upper school program. There's a place for everybody. Really, our philosophy at that JV level is sportsmanship first, playing second, then winning. Then when we get to that varsity level, it's sportsmanship, winning, and then playing. So we do put emphasis to try to put the best competitive team out there on both levels. The practice makeup is a little bit different than it would be in the middle school. We practice after school, usually 2 hours for that varsity team. And those practices are not just Monday through Friday. We really have a 6-day-a-week program. If we're not playing a game at the varsity level on a Saturday, we will have practices. And then really at that JV level, the practices again will be after school, but they're a little less scaled. They're only about an hour and a half. And we tend to try to stay off weekends for our JV kids. Either that's because lack of a commitment or just really not quite ready for that. But there will be an occasional weekend opportunity for those JV kids. All of our practices will happen here at King, with the exception of our squash program, which is off campus. Our ice hockey program is about 3 miles down the street at Twin Rinks. Golf and tennis are next door at Sterling Farms, the Italian Center. We have great relationships. One thing that I get a lot of questions about from the parents are for those off-campus programs. How do my son or daughter get there? We provide transportation for everybody to get to those practices. So we will handle all those things. As far as our game schedules go, they're pretty extensive. I think if you're a middle school student who may be in 8th grade now, who only had a 6th grade or maybe a fall 7th grade experience, really at that JV level, we're playing anywhere from 5 to 6 games to 12 games, depending upon the sport. But when we get to that varsity level, we're playing anywhere from 14 to 16, 18 games over the course of the regular season. And that does not include postseason play. Our game schedules are always live online, so you can look at those. I try to say about 3 months ahead. So we're almost to the middle of May right now. So really in about a week and a half, if you go online, you'll be able to see all the fall schedules posted. Then usually about the first week of October, we get the winter season schedules posted. And then usually around January, February, we're ready to go for the spring as well. Again, we play a pretty competitive schedule. Everything's posted live. As Mr. Hauben alluded to, we play internally in the FAA, which is the Fairchester Athletic Association. We play our peer schools such as Brunswick, Rise, St. Luke's, GA, Convent, Greenwich Country Day School. But we also reach outside and play some of the other New England schools such as Canterbury, Millbrook, Hotchkiss, Gunnery, depending on the various sports. But again, the core of our upper school varsity schedule is within the FAA, and we try to look to get some postseason tournaments as well. At that JV level, we offer JV tournaments almost in every single sport. Then obviously at the high school level with the varsity teams, we will compete not only for FAA championships, but for New England championships as well. Again, if you see that sheet there, I can proudly say that, after being here for 22 years, during my time, we won about 45 FAA titles, 22 English titles, and 11 sportsmanship awards. And it kind of goes back to a little bit what we talked about earlier, that sportsmanship is really a priority, but we've shown that we can also be good sports, but also win championships. So I think we do it right here, and I think that speaks volume about the student that we get here at King. I can continue to talk a lot. There's lots to absorb. I'll be in the breakout room. I'll answer any questions as a parent and as well as an admin, and I'll leave it as I think it's King students separate this school from other schools, and it really is a great place to be, and we're glad that you're part of our programs.
Hi, everybody. My name is Emily Prince, and I am the Director of Student Athlete Leadership and Experience, like Micah Hauben just mentioned. I'm also a college counselor, and I'm the proud parent of 3 children in the lower school. I am also the field hockey coach. So I'll speak a little bit about the initiatives that I am proud to be a part of. There are tons of initiatives that King offers our student athletes. As Director of Student Athlete Experience and Leadership, we want to be sure that we get all of the marrow out of this experience and be sure that we're not losing any of these life lessons gained through sport. Some of you know I went to Princeton. and was a 3-time All-American at Princeton. And I can speak to all the intangibles that I gained and that were happening kind of behind the scenes to mold me into the person I am today. Similarly, we have a fantastic team that embodies all of these core values. And you can see the core values behind me right now on the screen. And like all good systems, we each have our roles and parts to make the system go. My specific role on this awesome team is sort of like no job is too big or too small. I coach field hockey, as I said, but I also drive the van to crew practice when Tom Decker needs me to. I guide the student athletes through the recruiting process for college, but I also pick out the photos for the wall in the athletic hallway. But getting into my role as college counselor, I have been internal for 3 years, and I am using my insanely competitive spirit to try to push our athletic program in the right direction. And I can tell you that you're in really good hands with all of these coaches on the call today. In the college counseling office, I ran my own recruiting business for 10 years before coming to King, and I helped countless families. About 3 years ago, I was hired to be a college counselor. And so guiding not just the athlete, but also the whole student. I know what it's like, though, to play Division I at an Ivy and endure the demands of the academic institution. And here in the college counseling office, I find my role incredibly unique for independent schools. Our coaches are very good at what they do, and they can help with the recruiting process as well, but we partner with them throughout the entire process. A brief touch on the college counseling overall, our sort of structure is that we have a 4-year model, and after filling out the questionnaire that you will get, you will be paired, your rising 8th grader or your new student will be paired with a counselor that will guide you through high school and be sure that you're doing high school well. And the hope is that through this 4-year model, we build a strong relationship and an understanding of who you are so that we can help you find a college that fits. As director of leadership, I run the Captain's Council, as Micah mentioned, and I was also a 2-year captain at Princeton, so junior and senior year, and I sort of rested on just what I thought was good leadership. It kind of came naturally to me. But in the Captain's Council, I can help guide these captains and these leaders on the roles, the responsibilities, and the risks of being a captain. So especially this past fall, you can imagine with COVID, there were so many social distancing rules, the masks, they had to keep the morale high when games got canceled. So the captains were really walking this fine line of how to be an enforcer and also how to be a friend and a teammate. And they were constantly reminding their peers to put the masks on and what kind of communication could they use for this particular situation. So the Captain's Council is also a feedback system. So we want to make sure that we're hearing their voices as well. So it goes both ways. We can take criticism for ourselves as a program and continue to move it in the right direction. We always want to talk about our core values, again, as you can see behind me, and we take those very seriously. And each team can also create their own core values. So every season we do have exercises where we go over what might be working for the culture of your team that year. So it's very rewarding for me to work with the captains. I love it. I enjoy it. I will also announce that this year is our first year with Under Armour. So we are partnering with Under Armour, a leading apparel outfit company, to honor our female athletes. And this campaign is called Women of Will. This partnership will provide top-notch performance clothing for our female athletes and highlight their accomplishments on social media, shout outs, and then the campaign will culminate with the presentation of one female senior athlete getting awarded this Woman of Will. So over the course of her time at King, she has exhibited all the pillars of our core values, being leadership, commitment, perseverance, and teamwork. And this award will be announced at the end of the school year, and she'll share the award with hundreds of others across the nation. I always remember coming in the locker room every fall at Princeton and seeing the merch and seeing the gear and knowing that we were supported and recognized. And so I want to make sure that our athletes also feel the same recognition and idea that we're investing in them. So we want to honor the visible, valuable work that all of our athletes do on the field, because that is where we are learning how to be ambitious and how to set goals and how to compete and how to be fearless leaders. So here in my office, I'm all about embracing these roles. I look forward to seeing all the new freshmen and all the new students come in the coming year. And I'm excited to meet you all. And thank you for being here tonight.
Great. Thank you, Coach Prince.
Mhm.
And just some tremendous information in the chat. I did post the link to the athletic information sheet that Mr. Decker referenced. So if people did not have a chance to see it, you can feel free to use that link to just take a look at more notables about the program and the offerings we have in the upper school. And I'm going to turn it over to Coach Nate Jean-Baptiste now, who's going to talk about his role coordinating diversity, equity, and inclusion for our athletic program.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Coach Nate, and I love sports. I love sports. Sports has done so much for me, and it still is doing so much for me presently. For all the students that are on the call now, I firmly believe that sports will bring more things to you than you can imagine. Sports has a way of changing the way you think, changing how you approach situations, changing how you deal with situations. And you may be coming into the upper school, thinking of championships and cutting down nets and taking pictures of all the medals and awards, recognitions you may get, and all the moments that you create within your team. But I also believe that sports, and I know for a fact that sports will do more for you than you can expect. And here at King, we want to make sure that we continue to develop that and build you into that well-rounded individual. I personally played at the college level, played the junior college level, played at Division II school, played professionally in Europe for over 6 years. And the experiences that I gained through the sport and just the ability it gave me to try different things has just done wonders for me. I'm a well-rounded individual, in my opinion, because of what sports has done for me. And we want to continue to use sports here at King to develop all the young players and young athletes that will be coming to the upper school next year. In my role as DEI coordinator, which covers a lot of things, but the main thing for me that I want to make sure that I bring apart tonight and bring across to you guys and girls tonight is we want to make changes. We want to push the needle forward in terms of how you think, what you're thinking about, how do you deal with situations when they present themselves, how do you handle the emotional ups and downs that sports bring. And I think through sports, we can make a lot of these changes. Things that I've done last year or this year in school year, the beginning of school year, we've had an Athletes for Change forum where we had about 50 athletes on a call speaking about different experiences they've had at King, with coaches, with teammates, with other students within the hallways of King. And that was a very, very informative session we had. And there was a lot of information we received from it. We've worked with Positive Coaching Alliance to develop our coaches and our students as well in terms of what will be the next step. What can we do to create a great environment for everyone? I've also done microaggression workshops with the coaches. We've done 3 of them to this point with all the coaches that you will be involved with over the next 4 years. And we've really created, and the idea was to create opportunities for us to all learn. And a couple things that we'll be doing moving forward at the upper school level. We will have, starting next year, some athlete-driven affinity groups that will be catered by the athlete for the athlete, and kind of create that safe space for our athletes to feel comfortable speaking, talking about experiences, and also just bringing together our athletes to be able to realize, oh, you're dealing with the same issues I may be dealing with in my respective sport or whatever the case may be. So we'll be continue to build on that. From a community outreach standpoint, we want to start with the team and build through the teams that you guys and girls will be on. From the team, we'll work through the department, which is our athletic department. We'll also work with the coaches and teachers. And as you've heard from Emily, Coach Emily, also through the Captain's Council. The idea and goal through this for me is just to create opportunities us to learn about each other. I personally think you can go from the world, the country, the state, the county, we don't know enough about each other. We just live life. Lives are so busy. We're running from here to there. You as young scholars, you're dealing with a full load of work. It'll be a different pace for you. You have homework, you have teams, and you still have your things to do outside of school. And sometimes we just walk by each other and we don't even know who we are, who we're dealing with, or what we are with. And you're going to be on teams where you need to know who you are and who you're with. And I think it's very important, as that was what builds the community piece and builds that team and that camaraderie that we want to put through teams. So we'll be putting a lot of work towards just getting to know each other. And that will be through different ideas from the music, cultures, just sometimes sitting and saying, where do you live? What are you about? Where are your parents from? A lot of different activities and programs will be building through that to create those opportunities and create that camaraderie that we think and we know will help us succeed at a higher level from a team standpoint. I also think about just where we are as a country and as a world and the movements and what we need to do to continue to move forward. And I think sports play such a powerful role in how this world, our community, our society is shaped. And I personally believe that what we do here in the upper school athletic department can spill over into the hallways of King and can make change on even a higher level than we expect. And we feel, as you guys and girls coming into the upper school athletic department, what you bring, how you're able to communicate and understand what's going on around you is going to help everyone else in the school. We know that the athletes of the school are looked upon as leaders, and we want to make sure that we're developing you all to be those leaders. And I personally feel that through the programs, through the projects, through teams, through coaches, through all the coaches you hear from today, we all have the same goal of developing you to be the best individual you can be. And through the community outreach within our community, through Captain's Council, through just the workshops we'll be doing and affinity groups as well, I personally feel we'll be able to reach those goals and we'll spill, and what we create will spill through the hallways of King. And that's all I'm here for. That's what I want to make sure that we're developing. And yes, I'm the head coach of the men's varsity basketball team, but this is something that is of high importance, and it's all about that well-rounded individual. And my goal is to create that through sports. So that's it for me for now.
Great, Coach Nate, thank you very much. And we're going to turn it over to our athletic trainer, Emma Jonsson, who also teaches life skills and has had many of the students on this call in her classes. Emma?
Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming tonight. So I'm Emma Jonsson. I'm the athletic trainer here at King, and I also teach our health and wellness curriculum called Life Skills. I teach 7th grade, and then I also co-teach 9th grade and 11th grade together with the upper school counselors. I also love sports. That's why I love working with all of my colleagues here. We really share a foundation for the sports do shape our life. My personal sports background is I played a lot of soccer. I grew up in Sweden, so I played a lot of soccer there. And now in my adult life, I am an Ironman triathlete. So I try to stay active, and I have 2 young children at home. So what's an athletic trainer? It's a licensed healthcare profession. I have been licensed athletic trainer since 2009. I've been at King for 10 years. What do I do? I do preventative training. I do emergency care for athletic injuries on the field. So I'm present for most practices and games on the sidelines. If something happens, I am the first person to care for your child. And then I also do rehabilitation of athletic injuries. So if you sprain your ankle and you need some help, I can do that on campus during the school day or after the school day. I also do the concussion management program. So if you have any questions regarding those things, please see me in my breakout room. All the forms regarding our policies are also in your Magnus Health packet, the 1,000,000 pages that you sign every year for your child. All the information is in there. And our concussion management plan and return to play protocol post injuries also online on our health services page. I I work really closely with the school counselors, middle school and upper school. Student health, so our athlete student services is really the student, right? It's the whole person. So even if your pinky toe is hurt, you are hurt. And I think it's really important to remember that I work with the whole person. So the school counselors and I talk to each other almost daily, if not weekly. Another group of people that I work really close with is Bonnie and the strength and conditioning department. I can't do all the preventative work myself, so they are an integral part to my program. We're really hand in hand in a lot of things that we do. Nate and I work really closely, not this year, but previous year, with getting his team, keeping them strong and fit towards the end of their season, when they, a lot of athletes tend to get fatigued and tired. And so I did some recovery work with them. I thought that was really successful intervention for that team. So if you have any questions regarding any health related things, please see me in my breakout room. I'll be happy to answer all your questions.
Great. Thank you, Emma. And we're turning it over to Coach Bonnie with the strength and conditioning program that Emma just talked about. Coach.
Hello, everyone. I'm Bonnie Roberts. I've been at King for 11 years, mostly as the soccer coach here, but I just became a strength and conditioning coach 3 years ago. Just to give a little background, we do some stuff in the 8th grade or in the middle school, so some of you know us a little bit, but this continues to be an offering for the upper school athletes. So typically we are in the weight room or out on the field from like 3:30 to 5:30 every day. And we mostly see off-season athletes, but there's some in-season training that goes on as well. Like currently I'm seeing softball and baseball as a team. They come in the weight room with COVID, it's been hard with capacity, but we try our best. So we are in direct contact with the coaches. So the coaches typically tell us what they were looking for that day or what they're looking from their athletes, whether it's injury prevention, like an ACL program that I will work with Emma with, or they want to do an endurance workout. So I've been going out to the girls lacrosse and running an endurance workout with some core work. So we're very flexible in what we're doing, but we're also starting this new program called the King RX program, which is basically an individualized training program. So if, say, you want to be more powerful, you want to increase your vertical jump, we have a program for you. After talking with you, we will set you up with that program and follow you through that. If you want injury prevention, that's another offer. So it's different parts of being an athlete, right? There's endurance, power, speed, and strength. So we want to make sure the whole athlete is addressed and make sure that everybody is healthy. I started this career because I tore my ACL in high school and it affected my recruitment. So I don't want that to happen to any of you. So it's a real passion of mine to make sure that everybody's really well taken care of. And I directly work with Emma a lot and to the coaches to make sure that we know what's going on. So there's a lot of athletes at the school that play a lot of sports and a lot of things outside of school. So we communicate consistently with the kids to make sure we're not overtraining. So that's a big passion of ours, is to make sure that everybody's healthy all the time, to make sure they can play the sport the best they can. So I think that's basically it. So we will be here all summer. So if you're a new student, keep your eye out for training hours. It's for every sport. There is going to be some football specific training, but also just like a field sport training or endurance training and speed training. So just keep an eye out in your emails for that. So we'll be here on campus all summer, and that will also be like injury prevention, everything like that. So if you have any questions regarding specific goals, just email me. I put my email in the chat, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys in the weight room.
Thanks, Coach Bonnie. So we are in the process of opening up the breakout rooms. Captain's on the call. Just give us a minute and we will get those going. Everyone else, we ask that you just stick with us for a few more minutes on the main session while we introduce our fall coaches. So as you heard from the members of our department, just tremendous people that are passionate and care about your children. Students on the call, you know from your experiences, those are at King, and those of you now that are hearing from us for the first time, that we're going to be there to support you every step of the way. We have a tremendous, again, set of qualified, competent coaches and people in place to help support you, challenge you, lead you, help you grow and develop. And I will say that commitments that we will make now and continue to make as we go through is we are all about the experience of every student athlete. And we will have, there is a place for all of our students in our athletic programs, and we will stand behind that. And we want to make sure that there's open lines of communication with our students, with our families, with our parents. So if at any point there is a question or you want to find out more about any one of our programs, about some one of our protocols or anything that we do or why we do it, please make sure just to reach out to us. We sometimes get to the point where a student or a family might be getting frustrated because they don't understand why something is happening. They don't agree with something. There might be something going on that they just don't understand. And as it builds over the several days or weeks, then it can get really challenging, right? For a student to process that, for our parents to understand. We really want you to reach out to us. Again, as you heard from everyone tonight, the counselors also, all the people in the upper school are here to really help support this idea of the experience of our students. So we want to make sure that you understand that coming to us, checking in, asking questions is really, really valuable. For those of you coming to ninth grade, right? We don't know what a ninth grade year really looks like coming out of COVID. So students, as you think about that, make sure that you're asking questions. Even 10th graders, 11th graders, students that are coming back to King, next year is a whole new year compared to this one. So make sure that you know that we are here for you, and that at any point, if you have questions or anything that you want to talk to us about, just make sure you reach out and we'll be more than happy to talk about it, work through the situation. I think oftentimes people feel like we're going to know everything that's going on from the department. It's not always the case. We have teams that play and practice all over, that travel, that have different times of the day, depending on the season. And so the more you can let us know what's going on, the more we're going to help and make sure that people are feeling comfortable, feeling connected, and have a place that they feel they belong. The other commitment we can make is about competitive programs. We, again, our coaches are going to challenge you. They're going to work to put in place the opportunity to prepare our athletes to compete at the best level they can. Success is measured differently in every sport, right? The team sports, it's much different than the individual sports. But our coaches in all of our programs are going to make sure that they are working with those students and those athletes every day to give them, again, the best experience, but to put them in the best position to compete at whatever level that group is. And sometimes that's championships, sometimes that's huge win in tournaments, and other times, you know what, it's about a personal record for some of our individual sport athletes. The quality of coaching is always going to be there. We strive really hard to make sure we have the right people in place to lead our programs. We have lots of opportunities for associate head coaches, for assistant coaches. We feel we have really strong staffs in place, and you will start to feel that and understand that as we think about the fall season. And for those that we didn't really talk about it, the preseason in August will begin with an orientation session on August 25th. So all of you fall athletes, if you start to think about what we would want to look at for the summer schedule, understand that on August 25th, which is 2 weeks before school starts, that will be the first day. We have an orientation session for all of our fall athletes. Later on that afternoon, workouts and practices for our fall sports programs will begin. We have different events. We do a fall athlete day, COVID protocols allowing. We'll have a athletic family night cookout. We are looking at a female athlete day also. So there'll be lots of programs in our what we consider to be 2 weeks of preseason. We have Labor Day on Monday, September 6th. Rosh Hashanah is Tuesday, September 7th, and then school starts on Wednesday, September 8th. I don't believe the full schedule has been set, but almost everyone on this call, if you are an entering ninth grader or a new to King student, the week before Labor Day, typically on that Thursday, will be the orientation session for our new students. So just so you know, once we get to August 25th, that is the beginning of a lot of different programs, chances for our fall athletes to engage and connect. And for those of you that may not be thinking about a fall sport, we think it's really, really important to understand how much connection and how many opportunities there are to get to know the campus more, to get to know more people before you step into those first classes. So if you have any questions or interest in fall sports, please jump on the breakout rooms that we're going to open up in a couple minutes, and you can ask those questions of those coaches and the captains. The other things I'll talk about just a little bit for schedules, because I know that's a big thing. Typically over the December break, we do have some practices and competitions, but we make sure that we leave enough time open for families to be able to be together and to share in those opportunities where there aren't sports every single day. When we think about the spring season, the last 2 years, we have been cut off from the opportunity for our athletes to travel. If you're thinking about a spring sport, the first week of March break is a week that we give for family time. The second week of March break is typically opportunities for our spring athletes and teams to travel. If we have an opportunity to send teams back to Florida, some of our teams train at the Disney Wild World of Sports. Some teams have a program through Universal Studios. And we are working on, as I mentioned, with baseball and softball, the chance to possibly go to the Dominican Republic to train. But that second week of March break is typically that chance for our spring programs to travel. So again, as you really look at our programs, how they work, the schedules, the timing, it's really good to understand what components go into each one of them. And we're always here for questions. The last thing I'll leave the group with, and students, this is really for you. If you think about a school like King that in some version has been around since 1865, there are a lot of students and athletes that will come before you. There are going to be a tremendous number of student athletes come after you, people wearing the jersey and representing the King Vikings. And for you to start to think about now what you want your legacy to be. You have a chance to have a tremendous experience as you come through our program. But as much as we can provide, it is also on you to make those decisions. How you prepare yourself in the summer if you're a fall athlete, how you get ready for your seasons in the off season. Our seasons are typically 2 to 3 months. That is the time when the coaches are going to refine the game strategies and the team side of it. It's really up to you what you want to make of it as you have those times outside of our programs. So just think about that idea of legacy. What do you want to leave King with after your 2, 3, or 4 years here, after you've kind of said, you know what, I left everything out there and I'm just really proud and happy to have done what I did at King. And so right now, as you think about starting with us, as soon as this school year ends, you become a King Viking. You will be invited to all summer workouts for our teams. Coach Bonnie will have groups in the gym. Our fall coaches and winter coaches will have athletes out in the fields. And it's all about what you choose to do with it and where you take it from there. So right now we're going to just have our fall coaches introduce themselves. Then we'll get to the breakout rooms. As we talked about, each one of our fall teams has a separate breakout room. Emma Jonsson will have an athletic training health services room. Nate Jean-Baptiste will have an inclusive athletics room for DEI. And then myself, Mr. Decker, and Guy Savage in admissions will stay in this main room. So you should be able to move freely through the breakout rooms. If you have any issues, let us know. And then the tech support person in chat, you can absolutely reach out to Selena as well, and she can help you manage that. So Coach Lingle, do you want to just say hello from the cross country program?
Sure, thanks, Micah. Welcome everybody. Mark Lingle, head coach of cross country. I've been with the program for 19 years and looking forward to the fall and a great season.
Great, thanks, Coach. And Coach Fishkin, are you on to say hello from the crew program?
I am on. Yeah, hi everyone. Glad you could be on with us. I have been coaching the King Crew team since the beginning of the program 5 years ago, and look forward to meeting you all. Crew's a wonderful sport and a lifelong sport, and can't wait to meet all the new crew athletes.
Great, thanks, Coach. And Coach Prince?
Hi, I'm Emily Prince. I already had an introduction, but I am the head field hockey coach, and yeah, can't wait to meet all the field hockey players.
Great, thanks. Coach Gowan?
Hi, I'm Danny Gowan. I'm the head football coach. It's my 22nd year with the program.
And Coach Ingenio?
Sorry, driving. Hey guys, I'm Ingenio. I've been with King's soccer program now for 11 years and can't wait to meet everybody.
Great, thanks, Coach. And we have our head coach, Darren Gourlay, and associate head coach, Bonnie Roberts, on the call. Coach Gourlay?
Evening, everyone. My name is Darren Gurley. I'm the girls' varsity coach, and this will be my 4th year.
And Coach Roberts?
Yeah, you already met me. I've been a coach here for 11 years in the girls soccer program. It's a great program. Can't wait to meet everybody.
Great. And then we have our assistant volleyball coach, Coach Runas, on the call as well.
Hi, Coach Steph. This will be my 3rd year here at King with volleyball.
Great. So again, we thank everyone for their time tonight. We're really, really, really excited to have students that are on the call with us. Parents, we're looking forward to welcome you into our community as well. And it's just been a great night. We now give you the chance to ask questions and engage and interact with us.